Good afternoon, YouTube. Fat Cat Collections back at you with a watch that I've been waiting to review for a couple weeks now. I wanted to wear it for a little while and also find a little more time where I can get to my day off here and record one of these review videos. And the watch I want to review today is one of the newer models by Invicta, which I'm pretty excited to have gotten it. I've been wanting it for quite some time, and I'm just waiting for the price to drop down. And those of you who haven't seen this watch already, this is called the Invicta Thunderbolt. Now, the model number in this particular one is, and let me go ahead and drop that real quick for those who might want to purchase this, 21359, okay? Now, the Thunderbolt is one of the newer watches Invicta came out with. I think to date it's the newest watch in kind of this, what I would call, it's part of their reserve collection, but it's one of the newest watches they've created kind of in this over-the-top, huge, big, giant, gaudy dive themed watch. Now, they're always coming out with new models, and, I mean, let's face it, they have a watch really, for everybody. I mean, not all the ones have to be of this size. However, I'm really particular to watches that really make a statement, that really look large on your wrist, and that are just over the top. And Invicta is really, hands down, the best watch company. I said it, the best watch company of anybody out there where you can find over-the-top watches for the $300 to $600 price point. Now, they make ones that are a lot cheaper, a lot more expensive. You get so much bang for your buck with Invicta. It's amazing that they make any money at all. I just can't imagine how you could turn such a profit, I don't know what their profit is, but turn a profit and be so successful in having a watch of this caliber for the price. Now, before I tell you a little bit about the watch, I mean, those of you new to my channel, basically I show you what the watch looks like on the wrist. That's really important when you want to make a purchase, where you want to see what it looks like on the wrist. That's what kind of sets my reviews and my channel apart from the others. Now, before we begin, I just want to touch base again. I get so many comments by people who are so happy that they've picked up an Invicta watch. I mean, I get comments every day on either on my Facebook page or on my on the YouTube page. Now, I don't post any of the negative comments, so those of you who want to see something negative, I've said it before, you're just wasting your time. You're not going to get posted. And really, of all the comments, the thousands and thousands of comments, of the millions of views that I got, I can really count on probably, I don't know, maybe 40 occasions in the last 3 years where anybody had anything negative to say about Invicta. Now, I don't go out there and say that Invicta is the best watch manufacturer out there. I don't say that Invicta is going to last the longest. What I am telling you, though, Invicta, if you like this style of watch, you will not find a watch this substantial that gives you this much for this price point. Now, some of you again are going to watch this video, and those of you are what I like to refer to as the haters, and I know some of you don't like it when I say that, but more of you do, and that's what I'm going to stick with, is that they are haters. And people who are real watch snobs aren't going to like Invicta. They're going to go with their Rolex, their Omegas, their really higher end watches, and look down upon the Invictas and turn their nose up at them, okay? But the point is that this is I get this for $389. And with the sale, actually no, I'm sorry, with the sale I got it on, $329 shipped. Now, you cannot, and I repeat, cannot go into any store or any website and find a watch of this quality for that price with this look. Now, I'm not saying you can't go get a nice Seiko watch for about the same price where it's going to be great quality, maybe even better quality. What I'm saying is you're not going to find a watch, if this is your theme, and I compare this kind of like some of the Fossil watches, your Nixon watches, your Diesel watches, kind of in that category of large, flashy, big timepieces that make a statement on your wrist. If you're a fan of that, then there is no better value. There's no better watch as over the top as Invicta. Hands down, they're the winner. I've been looking for years. People have asked me, what do you think of this watch brand? What do you think of that watch brand? And every time you guys do, I go research the brand. And I'm not saying that they're like reactor watches. Several people have mentioned them. Renato, another great watch company. Awesome watches, right? But when you're looking for a watch that's big, in the 50 millimeters or over price or size point, you can't find anything like Invicta. Now, I've already preached that enough, but I just wanted to preach it again before the review. So those of you who just wanted to get to the review, I'm sorry, just bear with me. Now, getting back to this, $329, I dare you to compare this to any watch of that price point. For the gentleman who asked about reactor watches, they're like $300 to like $900, and you know what? The movements aren't even listed on some of those watches. A lot of the watches I see out there, some people have said to me, some of the watch stuff, oh, they use Ronda, Swiss-made Ronda movements they're crap movements. They're not crap movements. They're maybe not completely Swiss-made, and they use Swiss parts. Some are, but they bear the logo, Swiss-made logo, and legally they are Swiss-made watches. The point is that they're fantastic movements, and they just specialize in movements. So Invicta specializes in the quality of the materials, the awesome design, and then of course they let somebody else handle. You don't see Invicta making movements. They outsource that. They let Ronda, a decent. I compare it to some of the automatic movements you'd find in a Seiko, of course. Now, you got people who have different opinions. But let's face it, guys. All these things do is tell time, and even your Rolex. I get so many comments about Rolex. People have told me, "Man, you're 100%. 100% right. I had a Rolex. The thing constantly lost time." Let's face it. These things all have to be set every now and then and be corrected. Unless you want to spend a ton of money and that you are a watch snob, or maybe you're really into the mechanics. You know, I'm not saying that you're bad and feeling that way. Maybe you're just a person who really loves the mechanics of a watch, the high-end design, the perfect movement. Then that's great. That's all for you. You know, that's wonderful. But I'm not here dissing on your watches. What these watches are not a guy who's going to be saying that I have the best watch made. It's the guy who's going to be wearing a watch, again, that makes a statement on the wrist. They're big personality watches, and you have to kind of like this stuff. So, I ran on about that long enough. Let's move forward. Oh, one more thing. And Seiko's a great watch, guys. Seiko, Bulova, all those watches are great. They're all nice watches. It really comes down to what you like and what you find appealing. It's not for everybody, but I'll tell you, it is for me and for a lot of my subscribers, I can tell you that much. So, without further ado, the Invicta Thunderbolt. Now, this watch is made in several different executions. It's done, I'm not going to name them all out, but just a couple examples. This one is done in all yellow gold with your stainless steel cabling and your stainless steel pushers in silver. They make it in the same combination with black. They make it with blue on the pushers and the bezel, that rope bezel that this has on it. They also make it in a silver band with rose tone braided cable. They make it in a silver with yellow tone braided cable with either mother of pearl face. And they also make this one in a mid-size. Now, what I'm going to show you today is the full-size version. So you got to be careful. Some people, and I almost fell for this too, I was looking on eBay, you know, through a lot of my links, and I found the Thunderbolt back when this thing was about $600, $700. And I found a couple of them for like $419. I was like, whoa, this exact look right here, same color. And I was like, oh, it's a great deal, I should buy it. Well, I started looking, it was the 50mm version. And if you guys like the big watches, if 50 is your limit, then you're going to love this watch. But if you're a guy who likes the bigger watches over the 55 and over, you're going to want to get the full-size version. Because when you get it, if you're used to wearing your Sea Hunter, your full-size Sea Hunter, and your Venoms, you know, you're probably going to get this and say, you know what, it's not as big as I thought it was. That was my, and this is a big watch, but it just wasn't as big as I thought it was going to be. It is a 54mm watch, but you're going to feel like you're wearing like your Venom, okay? So it's going to be comparable to what that feels like. It's not going to be like your Sea Hunter. So just want to throw that out there right now. I'm going to show you just a close-up on it. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the mechanics of it as far as what it's powered by, the size, and most importantly, I'm going to show you what it looks like on the wrist. Now, I was going to get a close-up here, and again, I apologize for the lighting, but I do what I can with what I have. Again, this one's done in the yellow tone gold with your braided cabling. Now, this one here in the full-size version, they also make another version which does not have the 5mm cable. It's a smaller cable, more comparable to what you'd find your standard Zeus Bolt. So you want to make sure you go ahead and get the 5mm cable version. Very, very important. If you like this watch, make sure you reference it by the model number. It's done in all yellow tone face. You have your silver pushers, your silver braiding, and it's a huge braided cable on there. You have your silver polished, kind of like these gear-edged pushers and crown. They are screw down, of course. And what else? The finish on this around the case is like a sandblasted gold. And then, of course, you have that same theme going down part of the band and then a brush finish down the middle. And what else? It does have an exhibition back, which I always think on an exhibition on a watch that, you know, again, some people have been like, oh, why would they put an exhibition back on a quartz watch? Well, you know what? It's just what they do. You know, yeah, you're looking at a quartz watch. It's not like an automatic. If it had it on there, great. If it doesn't, who cares? It's on the back of your wrist anyway, right? So, pardon me, excuse me. I'm not going to edit that out because these are real normal videos, so bear with me. I'm just getting over being sick, and I think I'm getting sick again. What else about this watch? You'll see you have kind of what holds the band to the case, a couple silver kind of hex screws right here. And, of course, you do have your, I always screw this up here, I believe the hydrogen or helium release valve on the side. Bear with me, guys. I'm not a watch designer. I just like to wear them. What else about this one here? It is powered by a Swiss-made Ronda Z60 quartz movement. The Z60 is in a lot of the Invicta watches nowadays. They say this case measures 56mm. I believe that is including the crown and pushers. Let me go ahead and put a tape on it real quick. Because as far as I've seen it referenced, yeah, so they are including your crown and pushers. At the bezel, you are looking at 54.5 millimeters at the bezel. And you can see that theme around the sides here with that braided cabling. And then, of course, you have these kind of lockdowns around the bezel. It is a rotating bezel. And again, I apologize if I screw up the name of that the release valve here. It has to do with diving, but I'm not a diver. I don't really care. I just think it's just part of the watch. If it was there or not, it doesn't really matter. Now, one of my subscribers and friends on Facebook actually told me that he had this and he sold it. And he just didn't like the gold color. He loves gold watches, but he said the gold just looked cheap to him. And I understand where he's coming from because it does have a different gold finish than some of my other Invicta watches. I would have loved if they'd done this in the rose tone in yellow. If they ever do, I'm going to be pissed because that's what I really want. But I didn't have anything like this with yellow, gold, and silver, so I'm still glad I got it. So you are looking at, again, 54.5 millimeters, 22 millimeters in case thickness, so it's as thick as your Venom watch. And then, of course, you have... Now, the only thing I'll say about that, they are including the case back on that. So whereas the Venom, you have a really large, thick case. This, they're including the case back. And the case is kind of like donut shaped on this. And then I'll show you again, not to ramble on too much here, but the band. You have your fold-over clasp. It is water resistant to 1,650 feet, 8 3/4 inch bracelet length, 28 millimeters in bracelet width. Again, your screw-down function pushers, flame fusion crystal, blah, blah, blah. Weight is about 14 ounces. So it is a pretty heavy watch, but not as heavy if you're used to a Venom or Sea Hunter. Now, what do I think about this watch? Am I glad I got it? Yes. If I would have paid $6 for it, I probably would have sent it back because I don't think that it's not my favorite Invicta watch. Okay, now it is amazing. I've worn it for about 2 weeks. I get compliment after compliment about it. It is a very, very nice watch. And again, I am glad I got it, but I will say I wish it was the size of the Sea Hunter. But we get desensitized. We're so used to wearing the big watches. But again, if you are an Invicta collector, it is absolutely one to have in your collection. I'll just go ahead and show you a couple more close-ups of this watch, and I'll go ahead and throw it on the wrist. Again, you get your sides. I mean, it just amazes me time after time. Invicta keeps just knocking it out of the ballpark with new and amazingly unique models. Now, again, this watch is going to be what I consider, it's going to be like the new Venom because they're making this in so many different colors. They came out Jason Taylor edition the other day that is all black and silver and then black and gold. I mean, you check them out. You can find them. Click the links to through the up in the upper right-hand corner to the website Fat Cat Watch. I'll go ahead and post real-time listings where you can pick this up for the best prices. And, of course, check out fatcatwatch.com where you can always find the best deals. It does help to support the channel. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and throw it on the wrist. And keep in mind, folks, I will be comparing this side by side with some of your Venoms at a later date and your Sea Hunters and doing a lot more side-by-side comparisons so you can see what these things actually look like side by side. Because, you could have a watch that's 55 millimeter and be like, yeah, I know it's big. But then on a different style watch, you may not think it's as big. So it's nice to see it side by side. So here you go. Now, I am about 5 foot, 7 inches tall. I weigh about 165 pounds, 160 pounds, and I have a 7-inch wrist. So all these watches look really big on me. I generally have to remove on Invicta watches, depending on the model, 5 to 6 links. But there's still plenty to remove if you have a smaller wrist. You could probably take this down, I'd say, to almost like maybe a 5 1/4 inch wrist. You can get this one down pretty small. There's a lot of room to move. And I haven't even really touched on the, let's see what it's got here. I haven't even touched on the micro adjustments, which you can even get it down a little smaller here. But right now, you can still remove... As far as what they have marked, 3 more links out of this and use the micro adjustments, which would probably account for almost 5 links less. But I think you could probably even remove the other links as well because they do have pins. They're just not marked on which direction to remove the pin, but it doesn't really make a difference if you just follow the same direction as the arrow on the other pin. So once again, there it is on the wrist, 7-inch wrist, Invicta Thunderbolt. Definitely another over-the-top watch by Invicta. If you don't have it, I urge you to get it in your collection. I think that this would also be really nice in the mother of pearl face. I really like the silver one also with the black mother of pearl and the rose tone cabling. Another awesome looking watch. The only thing I have to say about this one I wish they would have done is made this one with the black mother of pearl with this particular color combination. But it is absolutely stunning. It's just a gorgeous watch, and man, if you guys don't have it, definitely get it. Now, a funny story, the other day, where I work, I deal with a lot of people. And a gentleman came through, and my coworker said, hey, check out his watch. And he had the Invicta Sea Hunter 3, as I call it. Oh, and just to touch on one more thing, another guy messaged me, and I will get back to him. I just want to say, one guy said, what's the difference between the Sea Hunter Generation 2 and Generation 3? I named it Generation 3, and that's what mainly you're going to find that Sea Hunter as, because when a couple websites out there started selling that watch when it first came out, they called it just the Sea Hunter. And the Sea Hunter has several different models. They have your original Sea Hunter model, then you have your, there you go. The original Sea Hunter, then they redesigned and made like kind of a cheaper version, which was the Generation 2. And then, so they came out this new version, and I said it was such a newly redesigned watch with that new bezel and crown protector that in the face and the step, I guess the step face design. I said they should call it the 3rd generation. So I refer to it as 3rd generation. So you will find it on some websites referring to it as the Generation 2 Sea Hunter. I refer to it as Generation 3 because they do have 3 different kinds of Sea Hunter. So I don't know. That to avoid the, I hope that helps to avoid the confusion there, or to, I guess, answer the question on whether it's 2 or 3. So anyway, he was wearing the Generation 3, as I call it, which is the biggest watch Invicta makes. My coworker was like, check that out. I'm like, I have that. I'm like, you need it in gold. And then he said, I have it in gold. You know, I was wearing this watch. I said, you got to get the Thunderbolt. He said, I got the Thunderbolt. I said, all right, how many Venoms you got? He's like, 3. I'm like, how many Zeus Bolts? He's like, 3. I'm like, man. He's like, I got 27 Invicta watches, which to some of you are watching is nothing, right? I said, man, well, I think you got me beat, you know? And we just kind of laughed, and I said, hey, you know what? You know, you love Invicta watches. You should check out my, you know, and I generally don't tell people about my YouTube channel unless I'm pretty close to them. I don't tell people around my town or people who really, you know, I work with for the most part. I mean, some of them know, but I don't really share the information with a lot of people. You know, I just kind of keep that separate from what I do professionally. But anyway, he said, I said, you should check out my YouTube channel, Review Invicta Watches. And he said, wait a minute. He said, are you Fat Cat? And we just started laughing. It was so funny because he lives quite a distance from me. I just happened to, you know, bump into him. And it's just amazing that the passion for these watches. It's pretty darn cool. So if you love the Invicta watches, keep watching. There's a lot more videos coming. There's always going to be an Invicta watch I'm going to review, guys. I might even branch off. There is a Boulevard watch I actually might want to pick up. But Invicta's dear to my heart. They're absolutely fantastic. I just feel like it matches my personality. It's what I like to wear, and it may not be for you, but it's definitely for me and for a lot of people. So again, if you like the videos, definitely subscribe to the channel. I think we're getting close to 5,000 subscribers right now. 1.8 million views. The channel keeps blowing up. So keep those likes, keep those views coming. If you want to become part of the wrist shot action, find me on Facebook, Fat Cat Watches. And remember, guys, if you want to help support the channel and you like what I'm reviewing and you want to make a purchase, any eBay purchase helps us support the channel as long as you do it through Fat Cat Watches. Does not matter what you buy. So just click those links. That'll take you to the best places where I buy my Invicta watches, from reputable sellers, where you're protected by a really easy money-back guarantee. And one thing I love about, you know, dealing with eBay is that pretty much all the sellers on there use USPS, not UPS. And you know what? UPS, when I bought from other places, UPS takes like 10 days unless you pay for expedited shipping. eBay, you buy it with free shipping. They use USPS on everything I bought off eBay has been USPS, and you get it in like 2 or 3 days. Return policy is great. If you have an issue, you say I have a problem, you just click I have an issue, I'd like to return the product. It automatically prints a return label. You don't have to pay for it. You ship it in the mail. eBay protects you, and you're also protected through PayPal. So it's a great way to buy them. That's where I buy 99% of my Invicta watches, and I urge you to definitely check out FatCatWatches.com. And man, keep those Invictas coming. Keep the comments coming. I love the comments you guys drop me every day, and I'm always here to be your Invicta resource for any question you guys might have. If I don't know, I'll always try to get the answer. So once again, folks, thank you very much for the support. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.